Hello, everybody. Yes, well, we finally, we've been waiting a long time for this weekend, which is coming finally. The big first, really huge fight, I would say, of this year. It's happening on Saturday. But before I go to that, first, I want to talk about a couple of other fights. Alright, David Morrell versus Yamaguchi Falcao is also on for WBA Super Middleweight title in a T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas. Yeah, well, Morrell, his last fight ended almost in tragedy when he knocked out Aido Sierbosinuli in the last round, and he was in a critical condition for a while, but he pulled out, luckily. So this time he's fighting a guy. This guy Falcao is 24-1 from Brazil, 35 years of age, with 10 knockouts only. Yeah, and he hasn't really yet fought anybody of note. His only loss is to Christopher Pearson in a middleweight fight, actually, so on points. So he hasn't stopped yet, but I think he will this time. So both guys are equal in height. Morel has a bigger reach, however, significantly bigger, 5.5 inches. And he's 8-0 with 7 knockouts. So he's been stepped up. You know, this is actually wow. You kidding me? This is his fourth defense of the WBA title. Fuck. Yeah, I mean he was stepped up so early because stepped up because he is already on that level. So there was no need for more fights. Smaller fights first. Cuban. He's a Cuban, so he's 25 actually. So he's not that old. That's good. They usually turn pro kind of when they are already 30 or something close to it, or 33, 35. So they don't have long careers usually as pros. But this guy, he's something else. Well, to make it short and sweet, I think Morel will knock out Falcao. Yeah, I'm sure of that. Falcao doesn't have anything in his record that says that he can't go the distance against a guy like Morel, or that he can give him a real fight either. So yeah, my prediction is this probably will be over somewhere between the third and seventh round, 4, 5, 6, something like that. Yeah, I mean, Morel has already stopped Lantez Fox in 4 rounds, and Calvin Henderson also in four, and Mike Galronsky in three. So Yerbo Sinoli was the first guy to take him almost the whole distance, but he was very good. He was unbeaten also. So yeah, Morel will win this fight for sure by a knockout. All right. And then we go to Cardiff International Arena, where there is one heck of a fight happening. By the way, I was originally gonna go to that fight, but unfortunately something came up. I wasn't able to. I'm really sad about that, but what can you do, anyway? So Joe Cordina is actually fighting. He was the IBF champion at super featherweight, but then he was stripped. IBF has some really ridiculous demands. They are infamous for stripping their champions for nothing, almost like if they don't fight for like over 6 months, but they don't defend, they get stripped, or if they don't fight every mandatory and stuff like that. So yeah, no matter how ridiculous the mandatories might be. So anyway, Shavkhatdzhon Rakhimov is the IBF champion right now, and he became that when he stopped Zelfa Barrett last November. That was one hell of a fight too. Rakhimov is, I think, right now the only probably world champion from Tajikistan. 17-0 and 1 with 14 KOs. So his only draw came against Joseph Diaz, Jojo, 2021. Yes, so that was for in a fight for the same IBF title actually. Against Barrett, he was not doing well early on. He suffered a knockdown and all that. And Barrett, with his long arms, was able to kind of throw him off balance. But he came back after that and he slowly but steadily broke down Barrett with constant punching and attacks, body and head. So this guy, Rakhimov, is not perhaps. Yeah, one punch guy, but a guy that usually breaks you down. Usually, he did stop Robinson Castellanos in 2 rounds, but Castellanos was already a veteran until by then. He's had many tough fights, and I guess his punch resistance went down by then. Yeah, so another former world class fighter that Rakhimov stopped was Malcolm Klassen, however you pronounce it, from South Africa. Yeah, so Joe Cordina is also he's unbeaten 15-0 with 9 KOs. And before that fight with Kenichi Yugawa, where he had won the IBF title, I never really saw him as a guy who usually knocks out his opponents. He went the distance several times before that. Actually, in 4 of his 5 last fights before that fight. So I was like, yeah, this guy doesn't hit that hard. But what happened there was amazing. It really changed my mind, everybody's mind. Kenichi Yugawa, he was knocked out by one perfect punch. Wow, man. So Corina is, he can do that too, but if he doesn't land a perfect punch, then he usually wins on points, against better opponents. That is. So yeah, I think it will be a really competitive fight, of course. I mean, Cordina, they're almost equal in height, and Cordina is actually a little older, 31 years of age, and Sharakimov is 28. That's right. So, sorry, this fight, I think it will be a hard fight for Rakimov to win because, simply Corina is fighting at home and he's very determined to win back the title, and he seems to be on the right trajectory right now. I mean, he seems to be really uh, at his best and really confident of winning. Also, as far as I could hear, he's even getting a little cocky about it. But yeah, I mean, I guess you gotta do that. I mean, sometimes in order to psych yourself up. And when you are fighting a guy like Rakimo, who is you know a, a fighting machine type guy, really tough and goes to your body and stuff, then you have to be very confident. And yeah, so what do I expect? It's hard to say. I mean, both guys can win. Yeah, that's for sure. But Unless I think Rakimov's best chance is to win the same way he won against Barrett by simply breaking Cordina down, and stopping him kind of late in the fight probably. While Cordina, he can win both by a knockout or on points, But yeah, I don't know really. It's become harder now to predict these fights. We've seen several really quite big upsets in the last couple of years actually happen. Things that you wouldn't expect would actually happen in a fight. And so, it's all wide open as far as I can see it. But for the sake of, making a prediction, I would say that probably expect Corina to win on points. Yeah. It'll be a tough fight, but I think he will in the end prevail, and backed by his own supporters, his own crowd, he will win this fight most likely on points. But I'm not really excluding the possibility of a knockout. I don't know, maybe a body shot or something. I don't know. So anyway, that was my prediction, Corina on points. And finally, wow, the big fight is Gervonta Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia. Yes, people, finally it's here. Well, I'm gonna make this as short as possible because I've already, gone 11 minutes. Yeah, this fight is also quite difficult actually to predict. I mean, I know many people are expecting a Tank to win this fight, but this is probably his most dangerous fight so far. And why? Because simply he's facing a guy who is much taller than him, much has a bigger reach and can hit so hard. He's so good at knocking people out, Ryan Garcia. That it's hard. It will be hard for Davis to avoid his punches, and definitely. I mean, given the fact that how many punches he took from Rolly Romero, who is actually not, of course, on the same level as Garcia, that doesn't really promise too well for Davis. But on the other hand, of course, as we saw against Romero, Davis can turn the fight completely around with one single punch as well, and he is really good at setting up that knockout. Also, Garcia, on the other hand, is of course a very hard puncher, but sometimes he you know, doesn't stop a guy as early as he can. I mean, sometimes he can be a little bit, not the greatest finisher in the world, but when he really lands, then you are gone, of course, no doubt about it. I don't think he has that same kind of instinct or precision as Davis when it comes to finishing an opponent. He is very, don't get me wrong, he's very good at knocking out people, but I mean, Davis is like surgeon like precision, when it comes to punching and knocking out opponents. He does, and I can definitely see him catching, Garcia flush and how he will react to being knocked down and hurt Garcia. That's a big part of what that will really, decide the outcome of this bout. Because if he manages to come back, strong and all that, then of course, you know, anything is possible. But if he doesn't really react well, then he will be, stopped pretty quickly. And I think after that, after the first knockdown, of course. I mean, he has been down, of course, against Luke Campbell, as we know, and he came back to knock him out, of course. I think that was the first and only time so far, maybe, that he was down, actually. Yeah, probably. I don't think he's ever been down before. Anyway, so Garcia is 23 and 0 with 19 knockouts, 5 foot 10, 70-inch reach. Gervonta Davis 28 and 0, 26 knockouts, 5'5" and half, 67-inch reach. All right. This is really tough. This is so tough, man. Oh man. I know. I mean, no, I know. I know. I know. I know. Right. Tank Davis. Yeah, you're all thinking, no, what's there to think about? Tank wins. Tank will knock him out. No, I don't think that's so easy, to say. I think there comes a time in everybody's career, a point where you face somebody that you just cannot knock out, right? That you just cannot, best, or not easily, not as easily as you did the others anyway. So I think Ryan Garcia might just be that guy for 10 days. Maybe not, might even not, but we'll see anyway. I really doubt that it will be a really dominant performance by Davis. If it does turn out to be, then wow, man, it will mean he's fucking the greatest of all time or something, or one of the so greatest of his time anyway. Yeah, it will mean definitely that. So yeah, I mean Ryan Garcia. Actually, what I want to say, I pick Ryan Garcia to knock out. I would love to say that. Really, a part of me would love to go for that prediction because I'm not gonna be really. I'm gonna be really honest. I would think that would be better for the sport because Davis has been winning and winning and winning. All these fights, and titles, and now if he wins this one, it will be like, I mean, the fun the fun will go out of it all. I mean, the excitement. He will become one of those people, who fights once every year or something, and it will be hard for him to, get opponents and people who will want to fight him because he's so damn, dangerous and good. But if he loses, it will be good for the sport and for his own mind because you don't like it can go to his head, of course. And knowing that he actually will have to go do some time after this fight in prison, that also, I don't know really. But anyway, here comes my prediction. I hate doing these predictions when it comes to these big fights. My prediction is, yeah, that I think Ryan, no matter how good Tank is, this fight is just gonna be a really great a crossroads fight for Tank Davis. Yes, I will go for the Ryan Garcia by knockout, people, but probably not before 8, 9 rounds, something like that. Because I have seen it in my mind. Sometimes I get these images like what's gonna happen, but what I think will happen. And in that image, I saw Garcia stopping Davis in the ninth round exactly. So let's go for that prediction. All right, all right. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.